This is The Wire for 2100 Zulu, September 8th, 2025. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2000. Bottom line up front. French Prime Minister resigns amid no confidence vote. Japanese Prime Minister resigns amid party losses. Social tensions continue to rise in the United Kingdom. Charlotte, North Carolina corruption highlighted by brutal murder case. Beginning with international events, in the United Kingdom, social tensions continue as before, which have been made worse by recent scandals. Several people have been arrested for posting content on social media that caused someone anxiety, which, although a common form of arrest in the United Kingdom, still has stoked the flames of social dissent as the migrant crisis has worsened. As of this morning, additional claims are circulating regarding whistleblower testimony, suggesting that illegal migrants have been given priority for medical treatment throughout the NHS, which routinely results in British nationals being delayed care as migrants are moved up the queue ahead of them. These claims draw back to the earlier revelation years ago that NHS practitioners were being dispatched to give private medical appointments to migrants stationed at migrant center hotels. Analysts comment. As with most information from Britain these days, the veracity of most of the above information is hard to verify simply due to the lockdown on speech. Nevertheless, it doesn't seem to really matter that much now. The situation is spiraling into a state of uncertainty regardless of the minute details. This morning, a Banksy work was discovered painted on the side of the Royal Courts of Justice, which featured the image of a judge attacking a protester. This thinly veiled statement on the issues with the court's censorship efforts was made worse by the court immediately covering up the image upon its discovery and setting up guards over it to prevent people from seeing it. In the United Kingdom, nobody messes with a Banksy work and escapes unscathed, especially one so on the nose as this. As such, the dousing of gasoline on the societal bonfire continues, with very little chance of the situation de-escalating anytime soon. In France, this morning the French government collapsed following a vote of no confidence in Parliament. Prime Minister François Bayrou has resigned after losing the vote, with much speculation abounding regarding who Macron will choose to replace him. Analysts comment. Some media sources speculate that since Macron has appointed right-leaning, by French standards, prime ministers twice now, there is growing pressure to appoint Olivier Faure, the current leader of the Socialist Party. In the Red Sea Horn of Africa region, Sunday afternoon internet disruptions were observed as multiple undersea communications cables were cut in the southern Red Sea. The IMEWE cable, which mostly serves India, and the SMW4 cable, which serves India and Southwest Asia, were cut, along with the Falcon GCX cable, which serves internet traffic to Kuwait. Analysts comment. No word yet on what caused this cable cutting. Anchor dragging incidents are common in the area, along with more direct cable cutting efforts that are intended to be perceived as accidents. In either case, repairs will take some time, so it may be a while before any solid evidence on the cause of the damage comes to light. In the Far East, Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba resigned yesterday afternoon, following his closing of the trade deals with the United States. Analysts comment. This was an expected resignation, but financial markets briefly reacted negatively anyway. Ishiba has been facing growing dissent, even from within his own party, regarding his handling of the migrant crisis that has now spread to Japan. On the home front, in Alabama, Saturday morning one assailant was arrested for murdering a woman in a public park in Auburn. Local authorities arrested Harold Rashad Dabney III for the murder after being apprehended driving the victim's vehicle. In North Carolina, tensions remain high following the release of surveillance footage that documents the extremely brutal recent attack on the city's light rail system. The video, as released, very clearly shows DeCarlos Brown Jr. murdering Irina Zarutska on the train system, which has resulted in tensions rising due to Brown being a habitual criminal with a long rap sheet. Analyst comments for this wire. Though it is not surprising in the slightest for Charlotte, local officials have handled this incident exceptionally poorly, which has contributed to rising dissent. For instance, the City Council scheduled a meeting last Tuesday to determine the measures to be taken to increase security on the city's public transit systems. After the media were in position and the council session was already in progress, the City Council halted proceedings so that they could hold a birthday party for Dimple Ajimira, one of the council members, enjoying cake and light banter for some time while everyone waited for them to finish. Once cake time was completed, they continued their session on the brutal murder that took place in their city. One of the city council members involved in this let us eat cake moment was Tiawana Brown, who also shares a well-documented and overpowering zeal for baked confections and light refreshments. Brown was indicted by a grand jury back in May of this year for stealing over $124,000 in COVID funds, which, among other crimes, involved Brown spending $15,000 on a birthday party. She still sits on the city council despite facing trial. Contributing to the tension is the discovery that the magistrate judge who allowed DeCarlos Brown Jr. to be released owns a halfway house where she makes a profit from criminals being released. Judge Teresa Stokes is currently listed as the Director of Operations for Second Chance Services, which is the exact agency that local states she personally released DeCarlos Brown Jr. to. This concludes The Wire for 2100 Zulu, September 8th, 2025.